But that is not the actual beginning of the story. It doesn't even start in Troy with the Trojan War. The story starts a bit before that, with a wedding. Long before all the blood and thunder of the Trojan War, there was peace, love, and sunshine. A clever young princess named Penelope had married Odysseus, the dashing king of Ithaca. They were the picture of happiness, newlyweds in that golden glow where every day feels like spring. Not long after, a baby boy arrived, little Telemachus, and their lives felt as perfect as a song. But happiness, as the poets often remind us, never lasts forever. Dark clouds gathered. A prince named Paris from the proud city of Troy did something outrageously foolish. He ran off with Helen, known as the most beautiful woman in the world. Trouble was, Helen already had a husband, Menelaus, the powerful king of Sparta. Menelaus and his people were not amused. The whole of Sparta burned with fury, so Menelaus's brother, Agamemnon, who was just waiting for an excuse to take over Troy, gathered all the Greek leaders to go to Troy and get her back. Even Greek city-states, who normally couldn't stand each other, decided to unite against Troy. Odysseus was one of those who was called upon. He was told to stop plowing the fields and, quote-unquote, volunteer to join the adventure. This is going to be a short raid. We go in, raid Troy, get Helen, and are back before you can count to 10, they told him. Well, 10 years later, the Greeks finally took Troy. Odysseus, the sharpest mind amongst them, had dreamed up a plan. The Greeks pretended to sail away, leaving behind nothing but a great wooden horse. The Trojans, thinking it was a gift, dragged it proudly inside their city walls. But of course, it was no gift at all. Greek soldiers, hidden in its hollow belly, climbed out, opened the gates, and let their comrades back in. Troy fell. Helen was returned to Sparta, and so the war came to its close. Odysseus, thrilled at the idea of being back in his comfy bed with his beautiful wife and his now not-so-little son, set sail. But the gods had other plans. They always do. While at sea, him and his crew disappeared. No one but the gods knew where they were. So Penelope waited, and waited, and waited some more, for years and years. Meanwhile, Penelope's home turned into an all-you-can-eat buffet for freeloaders. A bunch of well-fed, overconfident suitors from Ithaca and nearby islands showed up, all wanting to marry her, and, more importantly, take Odysseus's house and fortune. "Come on, Penelope," everyone said. "It's been years. Odysseus is probably fish food by now. Pick a husband already." But Penelope wasn't having it. Her heart belonged to Odysseus. Or maybe she was just stubborn and had a backbone of steel. Either way, she had a trick up her sleeve. She told the suitors, "Sure, I'll marry one of you, after I finish weaving this lovely funeral shroud for my dear father-in-law Laertes. He would need it once he departs." So she weaved by day and secretly unweaved by night. It was genius. For 3 whole years, she pulled off this thread-based deception. The suitors didn't suspect a thing, until one night, one of her handmaids snitched. "She's undoing it every night," the maid cried. The suitors were outraged. They yelled, screamed, and demanded answers. Then they got even more annoying. They ate more, drank more, and turned the place into a non-stop frat party. Odysseus's pantry was emptying, the wine cellar was practically dry, and the household staff were overworked and underpaid. Even Telemachus, now grown and seriously fed up, begged his mother, "Please, do something before they eat us out of the house and island." but Penelope just stared out to sea, holding on to hope that her long-lost husband would return. She still believed Odysseus would walk through that door, or at least wash up dramatically on the shore. As for the suitors, they laughed and filled their goblets again, because really, what were the chances? While Penelope looked longingly out towards the sea, as she did every day, Athena arrived at Ithaca from Mount Olympus. Her father had finally approved her plan to help Odysseus come back home, and the first step was helping his son. It was noon when she arrived, and it was hot. The sun hammered the island's hills like a blacksmith with no lunch break. Athena strolled up the path to Odysseus's home, or what used to be Odysseus's home. She had taken the form of a well-dressed chieftain, paused at the big wooden gates, and frowned. Inside the courtyard, chaos reigned. Not warfare chaos, worse, pre-party chaos. Servants zoomed around with platters of sizzling meat. Wine sloshed in comically oversized jugs. Tables were scrubbed, polished, reset, then messed up again by some half-drunken noble trying to help. The stranger squinted at the mayhem as he noticed someone different. Sitting slightly apart from the chaos was a young man, tall, serious, with a furrowed brow and the expression of someone quietly losing hope but still too polite to scream. As if on cue, the youth looked up, spotted the newcomer, and hurried over. "I'm so sorry," the young man said, cheeks slightly red. "Didn't see you arrive. This place is, well, you can see. Come in, eat something. We'll talk after you've had wine. Trust me, you'll need it." He took the stranger's spear and led him inside the great hall, where rows of jugs were being prepared. Up rose Phemius the bard, strumming his harp and belting out a heroic tune, probably about some hero, not the one whose house they were wrecking. Telemachus leaned in to his guest and whispered, "See this circus? All these preening peacocks? Yeah, they're suitors. Dozens of them, all here to marry my mum, Penelope. She's been stalling them for years, but they won't leave. They've eaten us half into ruin. My father? Dead, probably. And I'm stuck hosting a frat party I never invited." The stranger nodded slowly, then smiled. "My name is Mentes," he said. "I'm from Taphos. Sailor, prince, bit of both. Old friend of Odysseus, and of your granddad Laertes. And I've got news for you. Your dad's not dead. Not even close. He's just very delayed." Telemachus blinked. "You're serious?" "As a cyclops with a hangover," said Mentes. "Now listen carefully. You can't just sit here pouting while these toga-wearing parasites eat up your entire inheritance. Tomorrow, call an assembly. Tell them to get out. Be polite if you want, but firm. Then pack up a ship, grab 20 rowers, and head to Pylos. Old Nestor might know something. From there, go to Sparta. Menelaus was the last one home from Troy. If anyone has tea on Odysseus, it's him." Telemachus was stunned. "And if I find out he's dead, then bury him like a prince. Give your mother the green light to remarry and deal with these clowns. Trick them or fight them. You're not a boy anymore, Telemachus. You're a prince. It's time to act like one. You've heard of Orestes, right? Avenged his father, became a legend." Telemachus nodded slowly. "Then be that. You've got the looks for it," said Mentes with a wink. He stood up. "My ship's in the harbor. My crew's probably halfway through the wine by now. I must go." "Wait," said Telemachus. "Stay. At least take a bath first, and I'll give you a proper guest gift. Bronze, gold, embroidered towel, something." But Mentes just smiled, stepped toward the doorway, and vanished, as in a sparkly, vanishing and divine intervention. Telemachus rushed after him, only to see high above a great sea eagle flying toward the horizon. And in that moment, something in his heart whispered, that wasn't a sailor. That was Athena, goddess of wisdom, my father's friend, and now mine.